Hey guys, this is PK from AtomicZebra.com, and in one video I talked about hecklers, and I talked about a very specific part of heckling, picking the card. Now let's talk about putting the card back in. Okay, so here are two situations. Let's say the heckler was really heckling from the beginning and you end up doing a ribbon spread and having that person pull the card out. Now, we already talked about this in the other video, but you're just going to leave it here, right? And now the heckler has been taken care of, right? His card picking has been taken care of. So now you're in control of the situation. What you can do now is, now nobody has seen this card yet. I won't look at it. Look at that card, and now I'll put it in, right? You took control of the situation. Now you can do whatever you want with this card because it's now in your hands where you want it. Okay? But let's say you need to put the card back in somewhere, right? For example, you want to put the card back in here, and they're not doing that. Okay? This is one habit that I've come up with, that I've gained, I guess, may had over the years, is if you need the card back in a specific location, this is the best way to get it, because they can't mess this up. Look at that. They can't mess this up, and they can't mess this up, because that's the only thing that they have. That's the only place that they can put their card in. They can't put it in through your fingers, right? They can't put it in over here, right? Because it's too far, right? So that's the only place they can put the card in. So that's a really safe way of getting the card back where you want it. Okay? Let's say they are trying to put it in here, all right? So let's say they just go out of their way, try to do something like that. Okay? Then you pull back and say, all right, everybody got that card? Done. The heckler sometimes will be like, right? I wanted to mess him up. He actually got around it. Now, he's not going to say anything bad about that, because you are in control of the situation, and what is he going to do? Walk away in the middle of a trick? Usually they don't do that. Hecklers don't do that. The reason why hecklers are because they're curious and they want to test you, because they do know magicians are sneaky with their sleight of hand. So they want to try something and see what happens. All right? They're not malicious. Okay? So it's like experimentation, you know? For example, they think if that card goes in here, something sneaky is going to happen. So they want to see if it's still going to work if it's in here, for example. So it's just a natural curiosity. They're not actually they're not actually being malicious towards you, because they're here to see magic. They're just curious, and they want to see what happens if they go out of their way and make your magic a little more difficult, because then they will be, actually, trust me on this, they'll be blown away way more than a regular person. Well, they probably meant about the same amount, but sometimes they're really, really blown away, even with the simplest trick, if you let the heckler heckle you, but you still have control of the situation. All right? So it's not a bad thing. Hecklers are not bad. Don't worry about it. Okay? So you get the card back in here, and you're done. You have it where you want, right? So this is, I think, the best way to get the card back in where you want it. All right? Let's see. What else is there to think about when you get the card back? So, to recap, if they pull it out from the spread, just leave it there, and then now you're in control, because you can show the card. You're in control. Or if you want to put it back in a specific place, that goes way out towards them, and this is way back, and say, so it's like this. All right, put it back in, and if it's in good mechanics grip, proper mechanics grip, there's nothing they can do but put it on top. So you're good. All right, so let's give that a try, and don't hate the hecklers. Okay, don't hate the hecklers. I need a better quote for that. I need something that sounds cool. Well, we'll think of something. If you have an idea, a cool idea of how hecklers can help and the hecklers are actually good, and just write it in the comments below. Or if you have any other hecklers that you've encountered that you want to maybe talk about, or other parts of the routine where hecklers can mess something up, right? So we'll talk about that more. Yeah, we'll talk about that in other videos. Leave comments below, subscribe, and we can talk more magic. So take care, guys.